So James Cameron doesn't want audiences whining over Avatar's too length. And what he quotes saying is they binge watch TV for 8 hours, so they should be able to watch something that is 3 hours. Now we're gonna read the article, but I do want to clarify that Avatar 2: The Way of Water is actually my most anticipated film of the year. I'm very looking forward to this. When I was much younger, going into the world of Pandora was just so beautiful and was so mesmerizing that ever since then I've just been waiting for a sequel. And James Cameron has made one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time, which is Terminator 2: Judgment Day. I'm a big fan of James Cameron. I think he's one of the most talented and most legendary filmmakers of all time. And I think the first Avatar movie, while it's not a perfect movie and definitely rips off of Dances with Wolves, I genuinely think that the first Avatar movie is a mesmerizing, beautiful film that just looks amazing even till this day. And the trailer for Avatar 2: The Way of Water is one of the most beautiful, most unique trailers I've seen in my entire life, that I almost teared up when I watched it in theaters while I was watching Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness when it first came out, on IMAX 3D. It was beautiful. But I'm going to read this article. Anyways, the new Avatar sequel is 3 hours long, but director James Cameron doesn't want to hear complaints. He says, I don't want anyone whining about length when they sit and binge watch television for 8 hours. Cameron, who is 67 years old, recently told Empire, he says, it's like give me a effing break. I've watched kids sit and do 5 1-hour episodes in a row, he continued. Here's a big social paradigm shift that has to happen. It's okay to get up and go pee. All right. I'm not going to read the rest because honestly, we only need the quotes. But, yeah, so what he basically said is, we live in a time period where people watch television for long periods of time. I actually know people who watch it for 10 hours, 8 hours, even sometimes 24 hours. Now, me personally, I'm not really the biggest binger. I'm somebody who likes rushing through shows, which, I don't skip or anything, but I really like every time watching an episode, I'm just really wanting to see what the ending is, which is what I did with Better Call Saul like 2 years ago. I did that for Breaking Bad like 3 years ago. That usually just happens with me. That's just how usually I work in my own bubble. But usually now we live in a binging culture. I mean, look at what's happening with Stranger Things season 4. People stayed up till like midnight to watch a 4-hour premiere of Stranger Things season 4. Now, I haven't been watching season 4 because I've yet to even watch season 3. But even though I really love the first season of Stranger Things. But however, James Cameron does bring up an interesting point. He says, this Avatar movie is going to be 3 hours long. And look, we still live in a space where most people don't want to watch movies over the length time of 2 hours and 30 minutes. In fact, I'm still saying this, and I'm going to fight for this. I genuinely believe that movies over 2 hours and 30 minutes need to start not shortening the runtime, but to have intermissions. You need to have an intermission because I'm sorry. And I know some people are like, oh, you can't hold in your pee for 3 hours. No, it's not that. It's that you're buying popcorn, you're buying a soda. You're more than likely going to need to use the restroom during that time period. And I think it's unfair because usually when people go watch movies, they're looking forward to this movie. They need to see. And not only that, but you have to remember that the audience doesn't know yet what scenes aren't important. The audience does not, because there are some movies that there are scenes that don't matter and aren't crucial to the plot. But the audience doesn't know that yet. The audience isn't aware of that yet. So it's unfair for the audience to even come up with, when do I go to the restroom, when do I not, whatever it is. And James Cameron, while I understand James Cameron, and look, the Avatar: The Way of Water is still my most anticipated movie of the year. I'm looking forward to December, and I love that first movie. However, there's a difference between watching television and movies. When you're binge watching a show, you're at the comfort of your own home. You can get up to pee anytime you want. You can check your phone anytime you want. You can basically get any snack. You could DoorDash yourself some pizzas, some burgers, whatever. You could do anything when you're watching television. But when you're in a theater, you kind of have to sit there. You don't want to interrupt people, so you may not get up. Or you don't want to miss the spot because, and I don't know if James Cameron knows this, but when you're at home, you can pause. Not only that, but when you're in a theater, you have to wait for all the commercials and all the trailers and all that. So you're basically waiting 40 minutes to get the damn movie. And not only that, but you have to spend the gas, spend everything. It's like it's very time consuming. And look, this is coming from somebody who loves going to the theaters. My favorite time of the day, of the month, favorite time of the week, however long ago, is always going to the theater. Every time I know I'm going to the movies that day, I'm very happy. In fact, I get to watch Thor: Love and Thunder in 2 days. So, but yeah, I understand James Cameron's perspective. I know we live in a society where movies over 2 hours and 30 minutes long aren't usually that popular. I mean, of course, we've had the Batman that was 3 hours long. Zack Snyder's Justice League was 4 hours long. Yeah, I know, but you also have to remember that those are big, big blockbusters. But if you're talking about any other movie that's 3 hours long, most people are turned off by it. And yeah, look, there's been classics like Lord of the Rings: Return of the King is one of my favorite movies of all time, but the director's cut is like 4 hours and 12 minutes. Then, of course, the entire Godfather trilogy was all 3 hour movies, except for the first one, which was only 2 hours and 58 minutes, somewhere around that time period, which is close enough. But you know, we've had all these movies already be long. Um, but again, we do live in a culture, especially adopted by Netflix, where you know these shows people just feel like binge watching them. I know personally people who can watch entire shows within a span of 2 or 3 days. I can't do that because I'm somebody who needs to be moving a lot. I can watch like a good five, maybe an entire season of television, depending on what the show is. I mean, to be fair, we're also living in a time period where television shows are starting to get shorter. I mean, look at Disney Plus. You had Obi-Wan 6 episodes, Miss Marvel 6 episodes, Moon Knight 6 episodes, and they're all only like 40-minute episodes. And it's weird. We're living in a weird time period of television, which is now being adopted by streaming. But yeah, you guys let me know, what do you think while I drink this Mexican soda? I don't even know why I even brought that up. But yeah, what are your thoughts about this? Do you think James Cameron is just being an old, bitter man, or do you think he makes a point? Ultimately, I believe that I understand what he's trying to say, but at the same time, I don't think it's comparable, comparing going to a movie theater for a 3 hour movie than a movie that, or than watching a television show, which you can get up to the restroom anytime you want, pause it anytime you want. So I don't think it's very comparable. I get what he's trying to say, but I also think it's not comparable. I am glad he confirmed the runtime. I'm actually excited that it's 3 hours long, but I genuinely, I will say I'm not going to be getting any snacks. Anytime there's a movie that's over 2 hours and 30 minutes, I don't get snacks. I don't care how hungry I am. I actually don't eat lunch that day. Like, I'll just wait for dinner because I don't want to risk having to go to the restroom during an important scene. But anyways, you guys let us know your thoughts on this, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on!